Hello, geniuses. Welcome back to the Own Your Genius podcast, where we discuss building businesses, growing brands, and owning your genius. I'm your host, brand attorney LaKanya Murray. We have a good one for you today. But before we get started, let me ask you, have you joined the Genius Lounge? It's a place where all of us geniuses hang out to discuss intellectual property, business, and mindset. If you're looking for a community of motivated high achievers doing what they need to do to succeed in business and life, you need to head over to the Genius Lounge. You can join us at joinlakanya.com. Now, I promise you that today's episode was a good one, so let's get started.
I'm so excited to have you here. What the Woman to Woman podcast is, it's a way to share our entrepreneur journey and our story, because everyone's journey is different, but social media will have you believe that there's only one way to be successful. And we want to bust that myth wide open. We want people to be able to walk and own their genius and go ahead and walk in their purpose and not be afraid to do so because they don't fit a mode or they don't have this or that. You know, we're cutting that out. Everybody's journey is different. So, Mimi, tell me about you. Like, how did you get into entrepreneurship?
So I started off with a passion project pretty much. Before I ended up, going for a profit, I was really engaged in the community that I was living in at the time, which was North Lawndale in Chicago. We were going through a lot. Our public school system was about to go on strike. We had a lot of gun violence going on. And for me, I just couldn't stop thinking about the kids. Like, the kids have to have somewhere to go. At that point, I think it was 2015 or 20, we were having a surge of children being killed in the street. So it was you could either keep talking about it or you could do something about it. So I started designing activities for the kids to have somewhere to go. If they were to strike on the weekend, they would have somewhere to go. So I kind of got started there, but then I unexpectedly got pregnant and also got fired from a job around the same time. So it was like a lot piled on at one time. And little did I know I was going to become a single mom. So I had to pretty much pivot and do what I thought was best for me. So I let the passion project go for just a second, and focused on getting back into the workforce and making sure that I could make some money on the side. And it's so many things going through my mind at this time. I'm like, yeah, I have to have money so that I can support this kid. So I knew that I knew that I was always good at writing. So I'm like, okay, what can I do with this? So I ended up actually accepting my first client in 2017 for profit as a resume writer. And it just went from there. It aligned with my values and why I got started with doing the whole passion project in the first place, which was to help empower people in the community. So what better way than to help them secure better employment opportunities,
Exactly. So you've always been good at writing. Did you go to school for writing?
No.
Like, is that something you made? What was your major?
I'm actually an accountant. So I'm an accountant by trade and I have an MBA. Writing has been my thing since I was a kid. I've always kept a journal. I've been a person that everyone copies the notes from. I'm just really good at writing. So I knew that it was something that I could capitalize on.
I love that. And so for anybody listening, especially young folks out there who are in school trying to decide what their major is, don't be too hard on yourself, because most of us go to school and we have a degree that we're not using.
Man, it's
not using it in the traditional sense. Like you're using some of that knowledge, but you're not an accountant. Right. So don't beat yourself up too much if you're listening to this. You're like, oh man, I can't get a job in my field, or I went to school for this time and now I really want to do something else. Do it. That's what Mimi just told us, is to don't be tied down to what you did in the past. Go ahead and make that change. You don't have to be. Was that job that let you go, was that in accounting?
Yeah, I'm actually still in the accounting field. I'm still there. I basically use it to fund my passion, which is helping people secure employment opportunities. So I'm still in accounting 4 years later. As crazy as that sounds, but hey, it pays the bills. It works. I'm good at that too. So
That's good. But that's again, entrepreneurship does not look the same for everyone,
Yeah.
and the paths are different, and how you get into it is different, and how you stay in it is different as well. So that's what woman to woman is definitely all about. Well, question would have been if you transition or leap, but you're doing it. How do you manage that? How do you manage your day job and your passion, your entrepreneurship?
So it looks crazy a lot of the time. Most of the time it's just pretty much, sticking to a schedule, kind of, sort of.
Hmm.
And then on top of sticking to that schedule, just making multiple sacrifices because, while everyone is out doing their thing, we're not going too far because of the pandemic right now. But while
Hmm.
everyone has that free time on their hands, on the weekend after they get off work, I don't really have that because I'm investing in the business. I'm putting my time into the business. So it's more so just making sure that I manage my duties for work and then
Hmm.
making sure the client work is handled as well, and it just requires my time. So it's just making sure that I spread the time out and make sure that I've allocated it properly.
Do you use a digital planner, or are you like paper?
So I'm a paper person. I
I knew
you
you were
know
going
I
to say that.
stress digital to everybody else, but I if I'm gonna be honest, I am a paper hoarder. I'm a book hoarder. I'm all of the above. Like, I'm super old school in that tradition. Like, I still get newspapers delivered to my house. Like, that's the type of person I am. But I use a planner for the most part. I'm trying to get into planning it, more so on the digital side because I do have an assistant now. And with having her, I can't just, show her a planner. I have to
Right.
map it out in
You
Google
gotta share.
Docs. I use Google Docs for that.
Okay. And I knew the writer in you would probably prefer paper. Just something
Yeah, I
said that
love
you
it.
would like paper. Now, entrepreneurship, whether you're full time or whether you're part time, it is not without its challenges. How do you
Hmm.
deal with those challenges?
Just reminding myself of the end goal, making sure that I understand this is just temporary. The
Hmm.
sacrifices that I make right now they're just temporary. As long as I keep being consistent and, doing what I'm supposed to do, one day this will be something of the past. It's not something that's going to last forever as far as the time sacrifice and all of that. So I just remind myself, like, if I do this, not only
Hmm.
am I helping my clients with their lives, but my kids. Like, I have a second kid on the way. So now I have two
Congrats.
little boys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
boys. I have all girls. I
Yeah.
have all
Yeah.
girls. I got three.
I wanted a girl, but hey, I'm okay with being a boy mom too, though.
It worked.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
now, with having two, little black boys in Chicago, I'm just focused on making sure that they see, up front and personal, like, yeah, it's a lot of different things I can do in this world. And if I'm good enough at it and if I try hard enough, I can actually make it happen for myself. So just reminding myself of that all the time is what keeps me moving.
That's a good reason to keep going. That's why there's a book, Start with Why. The starting with why
Yeah,
is important because of all these challenges and different things. If you forget why you started, you be like, man, bump this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
exactly.
But when you remember why you started and what you're trying to accomplish, then you be like, you know what? Let me just put on my big girl panties and get it done. Let me do it. So your backstory is so inspiring. Working
I
in
got a kid
accounting
on the
and then,
side.
hey, sweetie, bye, sweetie.
Okay. Bye, guys.
We are in a pandemic. We are working from home, and we got kids. Like, we're doing all the things right now, right?
Everything, everything.
Everything. So it's not just how do you manage your day job with your side job. No, how do you manage the day job, the side job, the kids, like all of the things. Whew.
All you do is take a deep breath and just, man.
Yes, my kid texts me this morning. I'm sitting here working. She gonna text me, "Can you bring me my water bottle and fill it with water, please?" Because she in class. I'm like, I'm working too. I don't work for you.
No respect for the hustle. No respect.
No, no, zero respect for the hustle. Like, zero respect. Goodness gracious. But your backstory is so inspiring. So inspiring. How you didn't let the fact that you lost your job right when you found out that you were having a child, your first child at that, deter you. Like, it didn't discourage you, like, you know what, let me figure this thing out, and you were able to figure out how to make some money using something that you love, which is really great. I want to know more about your business. Tell me more about your business.
So I started out, like I said, resume writing. So that was cool for a long
Hmm.
time. And then I kind of burnt myself out. So I was transitioned from resume writing. I'm still doing it technically, but I decided to go ahead and pursue career coaching because I realized that I kind of like having my hand in more than just the resume part. I like being part of the salary negotiation process. You're interviewing, your networking, like building that strategy behind getting and securing these opportunities. So I
Hmm.
decided to pivot once again into career coaching, still doing resume writing, but for the most part right now, I'm focusing on career coaching where I am helping women specifically. I don't,
Okay.
shun men for coming over, but, specifically is branded for women to come over, and I help them locate their brand value so that they could have that confidence to really operate in the job market, knowing that they could get what they want. So just helping them build that brand where they could not only have compensation coming from their 9 to 5, but maybe even having outside opportunities as well, consulting, doing workshops, different types of things, like literally just helping them solidify a really good brand that sells itself is what I do over here. It's
I
RBG
love
Royalty, by
that.
the way. RBG Royalty, that's the actual name of the business.
Absolutely. And I love that. And one of the things I like about it is that it's still in line with your passion. It's still helping the
Absolutely.
community, because even more so than just the resume writing, because now you're going deeper and going underneath the surface so that they have something to put on the resume, right? So it's not just the
Yeah.
writing, you're helping them build, negotiate the whole process. So you're still helping the community in that way. Now, when you're talking about branding, most people associate branding with business, but not you. You're
Mm-mm.
like, these corporate
Mm-mm.
people can get this branding too, right?
Man, look, what I realized a long time ago was that if you have a solid brand, if people know you for something, if people
Mhm,
understand what value you bring to the table,
mhm.
you will mobilize your opportunities will pretty much come to you. Like you don't have to work twice as hard. So for me personally, because I've seen this on both sides of the spectrum, as far as the entrepreneurship side and the professional side,
Mhm.
I understand more so than anybody else that being known for something gets you in the rooms that you want to get into. So, this is my second job since being fired in 2016. So, this opportunity happened because I was able to connect with someone I went to college with,
Mhm.
and he pretty much put in a good word for me. And we all know if you know somebody that knows
Mhm.
somebody, your
Right.
chances are better. And then on the other side with entrepreneurship, because I was creating um, so many different options for people, they were basically spreading my business word of mouth. Like I didn't have money for marketing and things of that nature. I literally was just depending on my work to help me. And that's really what helped me and kept me in business for all this time, is basically putting in just putting in that work, putting in good work, and allowing people to know, like, yo, I'm here. I'm
Mhm.
here and I'm always going to be here. You can sing your people, you can trust your people with me, and all of that. So basically, building that brand on both sides has really, really benefited me. And I just want to teach that to other people because, 90% of the time, you're running around thinking you're getting it all wrong when in actuality, you're just not utilizing what you have the right way. So
Right.
that's what it's all about for me.
And I like that so much. And what I love about what you said is that when you talked about branding, you know what you didn't talk about? You didn't talk about logos. You didn't talk about colors.
Mm-mm.
You talked about what branding really is, which are the
Mm-hmm.
values that you have and what people can expect when they work with you, whether you are
Mm-hmm.
an entrepreneur or if you're working a corporate job or a professional job. It's really, that's what branding is all about. So you're able to get that out and bring out those key features and showcase them,
Yep.
right? That's what you do? Nice, nice, nice. So I wanted to ask you about Boss Up and Hustle.
Oh,
So
okay. Boss Up and Hustle, it started out as brand your hustle, and I couldn't get that. Like that was the thing that I wanted, but I couldn't get that. But then I kept thinking to myself, like, what else resonates with me?
Mm-hmm.
And Boss Up and Hustle was it. And basically, what it is, it's not, what people tend to think it is, where you're just hustling, 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 and you're never taking into consideration your self care or anything like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally just like you said earlier, putting on your big girl panties and deciding that, hey, I'm going to go after this and I'm going to get it. So it's not, neglecting yourself or anything like that. It's understanding where you stand in a situation, owning it, and then working your butt off to make sure that you get the outcome that you want.
And you have a program around that too, don't you?
Yeah. So actually it's multiple programs, but the very first that I'm rolling out, which is on December 14th, I believe is the launch date of that. The professional initiative course, which is basically me showing you how to build that brand that I say you can stand on, and it brings you opportunities to yourself. So of course you have to put in the work to build this thing out. And that's what I'm showing you, the strategies, the methods, how to optimize LinkedIn, different things of that nature. I'm showing you all of that, and basically making sure that you have everything you need to boss up and hustle in this workplace. Whatever it is you want to do, you'll be able to do it once you take that course.
Awesome, awesome. And so, how can people connect with you? Where can we find the course when it launches on December 14th? How can we want to work with you before then? How can people find you?
So I have a website, rbgroyalty.org is where everything is housed. I'm on Instagram as Coach Mimi J. I'm also on Twitter as Coach Mimi J, and Facebook. I have a private Facebook community over there, the Boss Up and
Okay.
Hustle Academy. So I'm in all those different places.
Great, great, great. Well, we will most definitely find you there. We'll put all those links into the show notes so that people can find you and connect with you. We're going to go into the Genius Round. Are you
Okay.
ready? So, here on the Own Your Genius podcast, we talk about business, we talk about law, and we talk about mindset. I believe that mindset is essential to whatever you do. Like, whatever
Hmm.
you're going to do, you got to have the right mindset. You got to think you can, or
I
else
agree.
you can't. So, first question: what does owning your genius mean to you?
Basically being my own boss, boss up and hustle, honey. Like making sure that I am on top of my skills, my circumstance, and everything that's dealt to me before a storm comes my way, and then I have to figure it out. If I have owned who I am and I've owned my value, then I
Mhm.
have nothing to worry about, because I'll always be able to market my genius.
All right, all right, all right. So, what's your favorite business or mindset book?
I have multiple, because I just told you I'm a book hoarder, but my favorite one is probably The Magic of Thinking Big by, I think his name is David Schwartz. It's a really, really good book, like really good book. And I recommend it to anyone who needs to dig a little deeper, who needs to develop something, to get your mind right for business, for personal endeavors, whatever the case is. That's a great book to read.
All right, I wrote that down. I'm going to copy it because I like books too. Uh, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start the entrepreneurship journey?
It's not for the faint at heart. It's not for the faint at heart. My advice would be to just be sure that you want it. Be sure that it's something that you want to do. And before even getting started, guarantee yourself that you're not going to quit, because it gets tough. It gets really tough. So if you know up front that you're going to give it all you got and that you're not going to quit, you'll be successful.
I totally agree. You have to know up front that, hey, I'm in it to win it.
Hmm.
Do you have a go-to affirmation, something that you just set to set the tone of the day, or when you're feeling down, like something that you go back to?
Yeah. Every time I'm like feeling uncertain about something, it just always was, I am the captain of my ship. So every day, that is what I say to myself. I am the captain of my ship, because, there's so many different things that influences your day. If you
Hmm.
allow it to, deter you from what it is you're trying to do, just that quickly, you've lost you've lost touch with what you were trying to do. So yeah, I'm the captain of my ship. What you do doesn't have an effect on me. I got this.
Nice, nice. I love it. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
I'm good. I mean, I'm thankful that you offered me this opportunity. It's always great to talk to other, bossy, hustling women, So
Yeah.
thank you so much for offering me a place on your platform.
Thank you for sharing. I think that what you're doing is amazing for two reasons. Like we said, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart and it's not for
Mm-mm.
everybody, and that's okay. And you're
Yeah,
providing a way for people to not just survive, but actually thrive because you're creating them a brand where they can go out and start careers and other opportunities. So
absolutely.
thank you so much for what you're doing for the community. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Let's take this conversation over to the Genius Lounge. I want you to share this episode with 3 friends and have them meet you there. But you know what to do before you go. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and rate the podcast. Until next week, I want you to keep building your business, growing your brand, and owning your genius.